All right, let's get right into it. Today we're diving into MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane. And this is a book that basically takes a sledgehammer to, well, everything you've probably been taught about getting rich. The core idea? That society's default financial plan isn't just slow, it's fundamentally broken, designed to keep you on the hamster wheel for life.
And believe me, DeMarco does not pull any punches. He kicks things off with this absolutely brutal take on the usual path to wealth. He calls it a dirty, rotten alley. I mean, wow. Right there, he's setting the stage for a totally different mindset about money, one where you stop just hoping and waiting and you start taking control.
Okay, so the first big problem he tackles is this idea he calls wealth in a wheelchair. And this is a direct shot at that advice we all know, right? Get a good job, squirrel away 10%, dump it in the stock market, and then maybe retire at 65. The whole point he's making is that this plan forces you to trade your best, most vibrant years for a reward that might not show up until you're too old to really enjoy it.
And what's so interesting is that his whole epiphany didn't come from some boring finance textbook. Nope, it started with a car. When he was just a teenager, he saw this young guy, maybe 25 years old, walk out of an ice cream shop and get into a Lamborghini. And that one moment just shattered this idea that you have to be old and gray to be rich. It totally sent him down a rabbit hole trying to figure out, how is that even possible?
And this really leads to the core question the book throws right at you. Think about it. Is your current plan a trade-off? Are you basically putting your life, your dreams, on hold? Grinding away at a job you just kind of tolerate, all for this vague promise of freedom way down the road? That's the whole wealth in a wheelchair idea in a nutshell. You might get the money, but you lose the one thing you can't buy back, your youth and your energy.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, this is where we get to the heart of the book. DeMarco says there are really only two roads to wealth, two roadmaps. And here's the kicker. You're on one of them right now, even if you don't know it. There's the slow lane, that's society's default path, and then there's the fast lane.
The slow lane, you know this one. We all do. It's the 9 to 5, the daily grind. Your ability to build wealth is completely tied to the hours you clock in at your job, plus, whatever you can hopefully squeeze out of the market over the next 40 or 50 years. The bottom line is your main asset here is your time, and you're just selling it off piece by piece for a paycheck.
Now, the fast lane, this is a totally different operating system for wealth. It's not about trading your hours for dollars anymore. It's about building a business, a system that works for you. The goal here isn't slow, steady, linear growth. It's about creating something that can be scaled up to create wealth exponentially.
And just look at how different these two paths are when you put them side by side. Your vehicle in the slow lane, your job. In the fast lane, it's your business system. And the math, it's just not even in the same league. One is about slow accumulation from a salary. The other is all about net profit and the actual value of the asset you're building. And the destinations? Man, they couldn't be more different. One gets you to retirement at 65, maybe. The other is aiming for financial freedom at any age, period.
So what's the single biggest difference here? It all comes down to one word: control. The slow lane is handcuffed to time, and you can't make more of it. There are only 24 hours in a day. That's it. But the fast lane, it's built on variables you actually can control and crank up. Things like your prices, how many people you can reach, your conversion rates. That is where the explosive growth comes from.
All right, so if you want to even think about getting on the fast lane, there's a huge mental shift you have to make first. It's like you have to switch teams. You have to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a producer. And this isn't just about what you do. It's about fundamentally changing how you see the entire economic world.
Think about it this way. Consumers, that's the majority of people, right? They're always on the hunt for the next thing to buy, which just drains their bank account. But producers, they're the minority. They're looking around for problems to solve, for needs that aren't being met. And by solving those problems, they naturally attract wealth. You really can't be both. You have to pick a side of the cash register you want to stand on.
And this quote right here just sums it up perfectly. So many people want the lifestyle. They want to consume richly, but they have it completely backwards. They haven't produced anything of value first. The fast lane mindset is simple. Stop focusing on spending money and start obsessing over creating value. Once you get that right, well, then you can consume pretty much anything you want.
Okay, so let's say you're on board. You're ready to be a producer. But what kind of business actually counts as a fast lane business? Well, this is where DeMarco gives us a concrete blueprint. He calls them the 5 fast lane commandments, and they're basically a test to see if your business idea has what it takes to build real wealth.
Think of these as the non-negotiable rules of the road. First, the commandment of need. Your business has to solve a real problem for people, not just be something you're passionate about. Second, entry. It needs to be kinda hard to get into your market. If anyone can do it, there's no money in it. Third, control. You have to be in the driver's seat of your own business, not at the mercy of some other company. Fourth, scale. Your business has to be able to grow big and serve millions, not just a few people in your neighborhood. And finally, the big one, time. Your business has to be able to run without you so it can eventually be separated from your personal time.
And that last commandment, the one about time, really brings us to the ultimate goal of this whole philosophy. See, it's not just about making a huge pile of money. The real prize, the actual goal, is to completely divorce your income from your time.
The book calls these things money trees. And a money tree is just a business system that you plant and grow. It could be software, a popular book, a rental property portfolio, anything like that. You put in the hard work up front to cultivate it. But once it's mature, it starts producing income all by itself, without you having to show up every day. That's what true freedom is, when your time is finally, completely your own again.
So, what does the fruit from that money tree actually look like in real numbers? Well, this is the end game. Let's say you build a successful Fastlane business and sell it. That lump sum of cash becomes your ultimate passive income machine. For perspective, a $10 million asset kicking off a pretty safe 5% return, that's over $41,000 a month, every single month. You would never have to work another day in your life if you didn't want to.
And notice how this just completely flips the script on what we're usually told about compound interest. The book's argument is that compound interest isn't for getting rich. It's too slow. It's a tool for the already rich to preserve their wealth and generate income. The heavy lifting, the actual wealth creation, is done by your business. Compound interest is just how you enjoy the rewards afterward.
So, let's wrap this up with a really powerful little story from the book. Imagine two brothers are told they have to build a giant pyramid. The first brother gets to work right away, painfully dragging these massive stones one by one. It's brutal, slow work. The second brother, though, he spends years doing what looks like nothing. But what he's actually doing is building an incredible machine. Then, once the machine is finished, he builds his pyramid in a tiny fraction of the time. So the question the book leaves you with is this: are you spending your life dragging the stones yourself, or are you building a machine to do the heavy lifting for you?